Hello, Bame Farm fans. It's January 3rd, 2024. And, well, it's that fix-it time of year. Harvest went well, and now it's time to lick our wounds. Well, we're going to give it away. We're putting a new ring gear. That's a new one on the skid steer. And maybe you can kind of see the ring gear from this view. It doesn't look as bad as this, we'll say, the way it sounded. We had the starter rebuilt, if only just to put a new gear on the end of it. That's a new one. About a year ago, we put a new starter on it, and that masked the problem. The previous starter went bad, but we were having issues to where I had a special rod on the skid steer to reach in and turn the drive shaft there enough to get it into good teeth on the ring gear. Well, small problem. I guess I did that enough that we started to wear out the other spots, plus the gear on the starter started to wear. And I mean, I wish we would have kept the gear off the starter as a souvenir, but I almost wonder how much overlap the splines on the ring gear and the starter gear have, because the teeth on the ring gear, once we get it off, we'll show it, don't look that worn. And we thought maybe we could we could maybe pull the sheet metal off. No, we discovered that if we look in here again, look how much of the ring gear you can see sticking up above the flywheel. Look how thick that is. There is probably almost a 1/4-inch lip on this. We determined we have got to pull the flywheel, and we got to go find a 2 1/4-inch socket. So we'll be back with that in a hot second. Found a 2 1/4 socket, as tight as it's going to fit. Full battery. Ooh, full Ugga Dugga. Oh, now we'll make a bunch of noise and see if we turn the crank or not. Huh. Well, we got some action, but it didn't bust. Well, it's a standard thread. I did get a few turns on it tightening, so that's not going to be fun for getting it off there. Well, yeah, kinda. Oh, it's supposed to have a little tab that goes. It's a key. There's a keyway, and that was supposed to align with the keyway. Was one side. The handy dandy ancient gear puller. Well, we got the 2 bolts in the puller holes, crossbars in, and it's been pretty tight to the crankshaft there. So hopefully we get enough threads through it. Okay. Ready?
You're fine.
Oh, well, that went better than planned. Isn't too bad. And they really do bolt. That's one whole big piece of sheet metal they've got going in there. There's a bolt, and there's a bolt. There's a nice new starter gear. And it looks like the crank seal's doing okay. I don't see excessive amounts of oil coming out. After 40 years, I'm sure a little could squeak by here and there, but nothing too noticeable. Probably should leave the dirt in place. That's probably helping the seal out. Backing it up. Well, that's a good. Oh,
Theirs are missing teeth.
yeah, that's definitely good and rounded right there. And that was a good section, but because of that, the end of our starter gear had worn, and I couldn't find this section. Super fun fact. Typically, you have to cut a ring gear off. Well, based on a few hammer taps and this chisel, I have figured out we could probably tap it off, because I can't cut it since there's a lip. I don't want to cut anything off the flywheel for balancing. It's going to take me a few minutes of rotating and tapping, but it will come off. Unused ring gear coming right up. I don't know if they're supposed to come off that easy. It's probably not super straight and square anymore from tapping on it. Like, I tried to do it around, but this thing does not have that much structural integrity on the twist aspect. Now I gotta... Oh, well, that fit right on. That's a little loose. I see a gap over here. I got a quick half-hour bake at 350. And it slid right on. Well, the ring gear cooled down incredibly quick, but as fast as the sun sets this time of year. That's yay winter. Short days. Gotta line up our keyway. Hope we're sort of close. I'm guessing. There we go. Ta-da! And it's a tapered shaft. That's why it popped off so nicely. Gotta remember to kind of line up that tab that's supposed to go in the keyway slot. Supposed to. It's been boogered up more than once. Any suggestion on how tight? So we're all put back together now. We have a refurbished new starter. It's a year old, but we had to have a new gear put on it. We got a new ring gear on the flywheel. Put some gas in it. New spark plugs. Spark plugs are hidden underneath those bumps. You gotta take that cover off. It was starting to run a little bit off kilter. The misfire here and there. It started fine, but you could hear the misfires. And now, let's start it up and see how it runs. Running this one-handed. It's not super warm. We'll have to give it some choke. And let's crank. Probably because I need to give it more choke back here. Okay. I didn't try hard enough with the choke, I guess. Sometimes I get it on the first try, sometimes I don't. Safety's off. It settled on the safety a little bit. Well, let's go do something. Well, we're running an empty pen. Like that pen, we just had tractors parked there. Got that pen clean yesterday, and I'm struggling over here. It's well packed down, and there's not much here, but we got to get cleaned up because you can see the fences are atrocious. In a very near future video, we'll be fixing the fence because we absolutely have to keep these critters from intermingling. That way they don't mix too much size-wise. Okay, let's get to the field. I've been parking a few things out of the way over there because I've got hay and animals and everything else in the barn. We gotta pull the lever to lift the tailgate. It's up, and let's spread. Now PTO's turning. I can't see the beaters, and it's gonna take a hot second. There it goes. The joys of the mirror. Now it's flinging some poop. Yeah, the joys of animals. Really hard on barns and fences and everything else. It's been a long time since those fences have seen any attention. In fact, that wood there is in the barn from when there was hogs. And that was originally a hog barn built back in the 1960s. Yeah, pole barns, original hog barns. Think we're gonna need four-wheel drive? We'll turn it on. Getting a little slimy. Yesterday, it was better. Today, we had a few tenths of rain, and this is getting ugly quick, which I'm earning the tractor a lovely bath, which was not the plan. We were supposed to get snow and not rain, and well, we got rain and not snow. It's just a poopy situation all the way around, isn't it? Ha ha ha, love the joke, right? Well, this has been a fun fixing video with a little bit of other stuff thrown in. A little bit too much mud bogging. And a little bit of fertilizer throwing. Out here we've got our bales of sweet corn that we rolled. These are the dry bales. The wet bales are over there. I made these kind of late. Just think we were going to need something or anything for hay, because a lot of the hay went out quick this year. Everybody else was dry. Nothing wrong with a dry year though. Been my best year ever so far. Theoretically, there'll be enough manure, and I'll be able to maintain enough speed to go down and back through the field to cover all the area where we chop the corn off of. Now we get to have fun doing the loop at the end. Can't turn too tight with the spreader. The PTO will really chatter at you. Whee! Climb back up the hill and hope we can make it back up and over the valleys to get back. I am not doing myself any favors by doing this today, but the animals would love a clean home. Yeah, we'll chisel it out in the spring.